Hello, YouTube. So, welcome back to the Scott Dennis YouTube channel. If you're subscribed, thank you very much for being subscribed. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. So anyways, a lot of times I make a video when I feel inspired to make one. And in today's video, I started to think about how many, I spend a lot of time on the internet, like a lot of people do. Especially in my free time. And there's a lot of these videos where these people will, rant and rave and complain about the high cost of living thing. And to be honest, it's just like, it's not really that. It's actually just a complaining crisis. If you think about it, I feel like what's especially, the most exaggerated hyperbole of all time would be from the dreaded TikTok owned by the CCP social media, or at least that's what it masquerades itself to be, when in reality it's probably a PSYOP / spyware website. And I don't really use that platform. I think YouTube is far better in terms of the quality. Content quality is far superior to any other social media platform, especially something as hideous as TikTok, but that's just my opinion. And that's besides the point of today's video. But anyways, I just wanted to say that a lot of videos where they're complaining about the high cost of living, and yeah, it is very high, but at the same time, I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. Let's say, I use YouTube, and sometimes there will be videos that you can see are originating from TikTok because it will show you the little symbol on there. So that's how you know it originated from there. And those will sometimes show up on YouTube as well, where they'll just be kind of they act like the world is ending. And even if that is the case, well, then just fucking live with it. Just do what you have to do, But they'll just be they'll kind of exaggerate it. And if you think about it, if enough people are thinking that way, doesn't that actually kind of make the situation worse? Instead of just doing what you have to continue and live and ideally be one day prosperous, instead they're just dwelling on this. The one thing that really gets me the most is when they're like, I can't afford to live, I can't afford food. It's like, you do realize that pantries and churches that give away free food, including the Salvation Army, which has been around for, I believe, 160 years, if I'm not mistaken. It's an international charitable church. And there's several other churches. I mean, there are such a thing as food deserts, but the vast majority of America has an abundance of free food that they will just give you. Okay, there's churches, there's the Starvation Army, well, Salvation Army, but I like to call it the Starvation Army. There's pantries, there's an abundance of free food in America. But yet these people are going on the internet and saying, I can't afford food, what am I gonna do? I guess I'll just die. It's like, just get your fucking ass down to a fucking pantry, you lazy fuck. I mean, if you're really that, if you feel like you're starving, and that could be the case, do some people just not realize that those services exist? There's churches, there's pantries, there's a Salvation Army. And these services are not scarce either. They're in, according to the internet, virtually every county in the entire country. There might be some exceptions, there might be some places that are more food insecure than others. But the point that I'm making is that if you know, and they even have Snap too. Like I just recently got back on Snap. You know, they give me like $300 of federally funded food money, supplemental nutritional assistance program. You know, I recently started that and Medicaid, and that was shortly before I began onboarding for this job that I've been doing. And of course, it's based on your income, and if your income changes, you have to let them know. You have to let the government know if your income changes. Same thing with other government programs like Section 8, which I've been on for years now. It's not because I'm like choosing to be, it's because like if anything's scarce, it would be, I don't know, possibly job opportunities, because they say the job market is very competitive, but at the same time, like, I'm training for a job right now, you know? Like, I'm going to be going in a few hours from now. And I'm glad that I am because it's a source of income. You know, and I actually like it so far. And that's another thing that gets me is like the people who just, you know, get on the internet, especially if it's a CCP brainwashing psyop website like TikTok, owned by ByteDance, which has its headquarters in Beijing, China, and is most likely owned by the CCP, because China is a communist country after all. Glad I don't live there. Glad I live in America instead. Yeah, I just think it's kind of funny is that like videos that originated from there, and I don't even go on the actual app or platform or whatever you want to call it. But because I watch a lot of YouTube, there are sometimes videos that originate from TikTok that show up on YouTube. And I guess the reason I like occasionally watch these is because they're kind of like, it's like attention getting, because it's like they're like being so overly dramatic and hyperbolic by like, I can't afford to live. It's like, you're in America. You don't need to afford to live. You can literally sponge away if you want. You know? I mean, not that that should be your goal anyways, but like the safety nets are in place for if you need them, and a lot of people do, and there's no shame in relying on free food or free rent. I mean, it's good that these services are there because they're doing what they're intended for. They're there to prevent you from what would happen if you were in a country that wouldn't offer these services. Because let's say if these people were in another country, then their lives genuinely would be at risk, because other countries, well, depending on the country, would probably not have safety nets. So you know, like, think about it this way: is America gets way more immigrants by far than any other country, according to the internet. So that shows that people from around the world would rather be here than the countries they're coming from. You know, like America is like the cream of the crop if you think about it. I mean, the world overall might not be what it used to be by any means, especially in recent years since 2020, and as of now it's 2025 as of the recording of this video. But that was what I wanted to talk about tonight, was just like these videos that just dwell on the high cost of living, and then they exaggerate it so much by saying, I can't afford to live. It's like, well, then you need to be seeking out free food services. You know, and maybe it depends on the location. Like, I'm sure because of what a vast country America is, there's, you know, situations certainly vary from person to person, location from location. But if that's the case, then you need to be seeking out some free food emergency services, like the Salvation Army, you know. And then there's some people who will even get free food, but like the illegal way, like just going in a store and eating it. It's like, yeah, I understand you need free food, but like that's the totally wrong way of going about it. Like, I don't know. This video's past 10 minutes already, so I try to make these like talks not too long because it's like, I kind of made my point. I think is that videos where people are saying, "I can't afford to live." It's like, but yet you're living and you're making a video about it. Irony, yeah. High cost of living, I totally relate, but at the same time, you don't need to dwell on it, and there are plenty of safety nets in America because this is America. Let's be honest. Enough of the hyperbole, but then again, it's a CCP propaganda app, so what can you expect? Anyways, take care, have a good day or night, peace out, bye. Until the next video, probably tomorrow or the day after, or in a few weeks from now, whatever I feel like. Have a good one, bye.